try that melody?
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, that was mediocre. Let's try that again. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, that was so much better. I'm looking forward to hearing your voices throughout the service. The wind is also going to join us, it seems. My name is Rabbi Ilana Nematov-Bressler. I am joined by Rabbi Danny Moss. We've got Mike Lantowski on the keys, and we are so excited to be here to celebrate Noah's bar mitzvah, right? This is not a soccer game? Okay, great. No, we're here to celebrate Noah's bar mitzvah. We are so excited for him and for all of you to be together. If you've never been with us at Temple Israel, our prayer book is the blue book you have in your hands. We will announce the page number so you know where we're going. We are going to celebrate a Havdalah, or an evening bar mitzvah, and we're so excited to be together. And we'll start off reminding us how wonderful it is to be together. On page 188, we'll sing Hine Matov, a reminder of how good and pleasant it is for us to be together. Top right.
Hine Matov Manai, Sheverachim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Manai, Sheverachim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Manai, Sheverachim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Manai.
If you haven't tried singing this yet, it's not too late. How good and pleasant to be here all together.
Noah, for the first act that you're going to do in this service, we invite you and your parents to come up so that you can put your talit on for the first time as a young adult in the Jewish community. Come on up.
That's good too.
You have the talit? Oh, Mom has it. So this is a special talit that was worn by all of your siblings at their B'nai Mitzvah, and I know was your mom's grandfather's, right? And so everyone's worn it. It's been imbued with so much special meaning, and we are so proud that you get to wear it today. So invite Mom and Dad to hold it out for you with the Atara facing you. Go ahead and do the blessing. You can take your mask off, by the way.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'hit atef b'tzitzit.
Amen. Go ahead and take that seat and put it on, or take the talit and put it on yourself. Close. Hugs and kisses to Mom and Dad. You can choose if you want to stay up here with us or you want to go sit down.
I'll stay up.
Amazing. So Mom and Dad can go sit down. You'll stay up and you'll take your place with us. Why don't you take that mask off fully, though? Okay. We are going to turn to page 338, Ashrei, a reminder of there are so many ways to praise God.
Ashrei yoshvei veitecha עוד יעללוך סלע, אשרי העם שככה לו, אשרי העם שאדוני אלוהיו.
Happy are all of us who dwell in this windy house.
We will together sing words of praise. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yehalelucha sela. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yehalelucha sela. Ashrei, ashrei, ashrei yoshvei beitecha. Ashrei, ashrei, ashrei yoshvei beitecha. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They shall sing your praises forever. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They shall sing your praises forever.
It's okay to clap your hands around here, you know?
Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yehalelucha sela. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yehalelucha sela. Ashrei, ashrei, ashrei yoshvei beitecha. Ashrei, ashrei, ashrei yoshvei beitecha. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They shall sing your praises forever. Here's your last chance. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They shall sing your praises forever.
We rise as a community and we turn to page 146 for Baruch, our call to prayer.
Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yai lai lai yai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Baruchu et Adonai.
Take it away, Noah.
Please turn to page 149 and join with me at the top of the page. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide and
Time and light.
You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Hamariv Aravim.
Page 150, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha avta, Amcha avta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני
Read together in English on the bottom of page 150. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Le'olam Avayed.
We continue to chant Ve'ahavta on page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levanecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chetavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Please turn to page 157. We read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations shall be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Page 158, Michamocha.
Adonai, mi kamocha ledar bakodesh. Mi kamocha ba'edim Adonai, mi kamocha ledar bakodesh. Torah tehilot, osei felech. Torah tehilot, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Please turn to page 164 and rise.
In a moment, we're going to join together. You can rise when you've turned to the page. It's hard to rise and turn at the same time. In a moment, we're going to join together in the Amidah, our standing prayer. And Noah, the first prayer of the Amidah, the Avot V'Imahot, is pretty fitting for your family. We've got Grandma Gertie here, who's the matriarch, right? And you've got your makas, you've got your parents, your siblings, you've got everyone here. And the Avot V'Imahot reminds us where we come from. It reminds us who we are. You're wearing your great-grandfather's talit. You've got so many family members here. That's exactly what Avot V'Imahot is supposed to do. It's remind us where we come from, which is exactly what we have in front of us. So we're going to join together in the Amidah, starting on page 164.
Adonai Sifatai Tita Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot Umevi Gula Livnei Bneihem Lema'an Shemo Ba'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Ata Adonai Magen Abraham Ezrat Sarah.
168.
Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mehaye HaKol Ata Rav LaHoshia Morid Hatal Mehakel Hayim Bechesed Mechaye HaKol Barachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Enato Lishenei Afar Micha Mocha Ba'al Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Mimeit Umechaye Umasmiach Yeshua Ne'eman Ata L'chayot HaKol Baruch Ata Adonai Mechaye HaKol.
170.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך הסלע ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please turn to the bottom of page 172 and join with me. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Shabbat.
Baruch Ata Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. We turn to page 178 for Shalom Rav, our Song of Peace.
You can have a seat if it's comfortable to do so. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim
Sometimes the words of prayer we need are in the prayer book, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes we need to use our own words to pray. I invite you to take a few moments for your own silent personal prayer. You can use the words in the prayer book or those in your heart. I invite you to use that now. We turn now to our Torah service. I invite everyone to rise as we take the Torah out of the ark.
We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last.
Okay, Grandma Gertie, you ready to give Noah the Torah? What do you think? No, Grandma Gertie, I'm just kidding. So, Noah, you've got 4 generations here. We've got Grandma Gertie, we've got the Maccas, and I'm not even going to try and say, is it Maccah David? Okay, so we've got Maccah David, Maccah Jane, Maccah Steve or Stephen, Steve, and Maccah Eileen. All 4 of them. And then we've got your parents, who I'm sure are going to get some fun name at some point. But for right now, are Jonathan and Jessica. And they're going to hand you Torah on behalf of their ancestors. And all the papers are going to fly everywhere. They're going to hand you Torah on behalf of their ancestors, because this Torah has been passed on from generation to generation. And your parents and you now are going to join the long line of tradition of people who has passed Torah down. So who should I hand it to first, Mom or Dad? Okay.
Lidor vador nagid god lecha. Lidor vador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Lidor vador, these lips shall praise your name.
Give them a hug and kiss if you want.
Well, folks, this week in Torah, we arrive at the beginning of the book of Numbers, and in this transitory time between Shabbat and the rest of the week, we actually are already on the portion for next week. So Noah, you're more advanced than you even knew. We're reading the second Torah portion in the book of Numbers, which is called Naso, and it contains a grab bag of interesting topics, including, by the way, the priestly blessing, which is one of the most ancient of blessings in Judaism. It's written on a scroll that was discovered in the land of Israel from about 700 before the Common Era. So these ancient words of blessing and of shalom, of peace, resonate especially, of course, at this time when there is such turmoil in the region. And they remind us that our legacy is shalom, is peace. Now, the part that Noah is going to be reading and commenting on is about a mysterious type of monk. Are there any Star Wars fans out there by chance? A little bit. Oh, funny, you don't look like a Wookiee. I would say that the closest equivalent is like an Obi-Wan Kenobi in episode 4. There is this model of a Jewish monk, an ascetic, who makes certain pledges, which I won't steal your thunder because I know you're going to talk about this a little bit soon. But he or she makes certain pledges to commit to a high level of holiness. And the text very interestingly treats all of the ritual around this person, the Nazir or Nazirite. Whether the Nazirite is in fact doing a good thing or not is actually an open question in rabbinic literature, and maybe we'll learn a little bit more about that too. But it certainly provides an interesting model for us to consider about what the ways that we show our deepest pledges and commitments to our faith and to the things we care most about are. So what do you say? Are you ready to read some Torah? Yeah? Awesome. Okay. So for the honor of the first Aliyah, we're going to invite your makas. Did I say that right? This is a family thing that I'm on the outside of, but I'm enjoying being on the inside. So, makas, David Bernstein. All right, and on the count of 3, we can say it together. And it's Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bocha bonu mikol ha'amim, v'nosan lonu et toraso. Baruch Atah Adonai nosein haTorah.
Amen.
Vaydaber Adonai yishteh va'anavim lahim v'veshim lo yochem.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher nosan lonu Toras emes, v'chayei olam notar b'zochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai nosein haTorah.
Amen.
So while they're doing the hugs and kisses, what Noah just read for us is Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, if anyone, man or woman, explicitly utters a Nazirite vow to set himself apart for Adonai, he shall abstain from wine and any other intoxicant. He shall not drink vinegar of wine or of any other intoxicant, nor shall he drink anything in which grapes have been steeped, nor eat grapes fresh or dried." I know you're riveted by this.
All right, and for the second Aliyah,
Your siblings.
Noah, we're going to invite your bro and sisses. So, Alex Stein, Sophie Stein, and Ella Stein. Ya'amdu Avram Yakir ben Yaakov Zalma v'Rachel, Aviva Maya bat Yaakov Zalma v'Rachel, ve'Eliana Sima bat Yaakov Zalma v'Rachel, la'aliyah hasheniya.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen.
Kol yemei Nizro mikol asher yehaseh migefen hayayim mechartzanim ve'ad zag lo yohel. Kol yemei neder nizro, tar lo ya'avor al rasho, ad malot hayamim, asher yazir ladonai, kadosh iye, gadel pera se'ar rasho. Kol yemei haziro ladonai, al nefesh
Mid
mid
lo
lo
yavo.
yavo.
Yasher koach. All right, Sibs, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
You all need a fun name, like your grandparents.
Someday.
Someday, no, give your siblings hugs and kisses.
Oh no.
Love that nice, strong, and melodic Hebrew. Very good.
So
Good
what
job.
Noah just read for us was, throughout his term as Nazirite, he or she may not eat anything that is obtained from the grapevine, even seeds or skin. Throughout the term of their vow as Nazirite, no razor shall touch their head. It shall remain consecrated until the completion of their term as Nazirite of Adonai, the hair of their head being left to grow untrimmed. Throughout the term that they are set apart for Adonai, they shall not go in where there is a dead person.
And on that uplifting note, hey, the ancient purity laws,
They're so riveting.
they speak deeper messages, which we will learn. It's an interesting coincidence. This morning, our bat mitzvah student actually read, honor your mother and father for her third aliyah, when her mother and father came up. For your third aliyah, do you know what the first two words are? La'aviv u'le'imo, right? That means concerning your father or your mother. So what could be more fitting than to invite for the honor of the third aliyah your parents, Jonathan Stein and Jessica Stein?
Except, thank God, he has not committed to a Nazirite vow, because the next words
well,
are not
I mean,
so great.
not as far as we know.
True.
I didn't
I
know.
asked him earlier, he said no.
Did you shave today? No? No.
Come
Okay.
on up.
Ya'amdu Yaakov Zalman ben David ber va'elka Rachel bat Nachum David v'Chana la'aliyah hashelishit.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
La'aviv u'imo, la'ahiv u'ahoto, lo yitama lahem b'motam, ki nezer Elohav al rasho. Kol yemei mizro, kadosh hu ladonai. V'hi yamut meit alav, b'feta itohom, b'timei rosh nizro, v'gilah rasho, bayom tohorato, bayom hashvi'i, yigal
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'torchenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach. And mom and dad, you can stay up for one more aliyah. Noah's doing such a wonderful job, such precision and skill in chanting.
Noah just read, this is why we were saying maybe it's good he's not a Nazirite. Even if his father or mother or his brother or sister should pass, he should not defile himself for them, since hair set apart for God is upon his head. Throughout his term as Nazirite, he is consecrated to Adonai. If a person dies suddenly near him, defiling his consecrated hair, he shall shave his head on the day he becomes clean. He shall shave it on the seventh day.
Noah, there's a special thing that's going on right now. Did you know, this is the big secret that I only let our students in on at this moment, that actually the moment we're going to become a bar mitzvah has nothing to do with you reading the Torah, although you prepared so beautifully and you're so competent at it. It's all about the honor of the blessing over the Torah. That's where the spiritual brownie points are. Being called by one's Hebrew name to participate in the reading of Torah in the sight of the community, your family, and God. And so this is the moment of your aliyah. Even if you didn't read any Torah, you'd still become bar mitzvah. But if I had told you that, you wouldn't do anything. So that's why I'm telling you now. You understand? Okay, good. So here we go. You get a special call for this special moment. Ya'amod, Ya'amod, Ya'amod. Noach ben Yaakov Zalma Urachel. Yeled bar mitzvah aliyat haTorah. Okay, now you do.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Vayom hashvini yavi shetei torim o shnei b'nei Yonah el hakohen el peta ohel moed ve'asa hakohen echad lahatat ve'echad laolah ve'hiper alav me'asher hatah al hanafesh V'kidash et rosho vayom chahu. V'hizir l'Adonai et yemei nizro v'hevi. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yasher Koach. You can breathe easy. I'm going to tell them what you just read, and you can breathe easy. On the 8th day, he shall bring 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons to the priest at the entrance of the tent of meeting. The priest shall offer one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering, and make expiation on his behalf for the guilt that he incurred through the corpse. That same day he shall reconsecrate his head and rededicate to Adonai his term as Nazirite, and he shall bring a lamb in its first year as a penalty offering. The previous period shall be void since his consecrated hair was defiled, because hair is really important. Okay, once Torah has been read, we have the opportunity to lift it high for all to see. I'm going to invite your dad to do that for us. I invite everyone to rise.
Vezot haTorah Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe al shlosha devarim al shlosha devarim al shlosha devarim ha'olam omeid al shlosha devarim Shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omeid. On 3 things the world stands: al haTorah, ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah, ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al gemilut chasadim.
So Noah did an amazing job reading from the Torah, and now he's going to teach us some Torah.
Adonai told Moses that there were a specific set of rules that the Nazirites had to follow. These Nazirites had to stay away from any intoxicant or anything stemming from grapes. They also could not cut or shave their hair, not even letting a razor touch their head. They also couldn't go near any corpse or dead person, including that of family or friends. If a person were to unexpectedly die near them, they would have to shave their heads on the 7th day after the death. Then 1 day later, they would bring 2 turtle doves or pigeons to the priest, one for a sin offering and one for a burnt offering. They would then reconsecrate their head and rededicate themselves to becoming a Nazarite because the hair before represented their being unclean. The Nazarite vow is a vow that people would take to become purer and closer to God, and then promise not to cut their hair, drink wine, or go near dead people. While these rules were harsh, there was a reason for each one, and the Nazarites were willing to follow them if it meant becoming closer to God and becoming pure as a person. An example of a story of someone who is a Nazarite is Samson. Samson was a Nazarite, and he was a very strong man who got his power from his hair. Others used a woman named Delilah to try to defeat him by learning his weaknesses, but he led them to believe lies about his power. Only when they cut his hair could they overpower him. Why were these rules so harsh? Every rule that a Nazarite had to follow had a purpose. For example, there was a reason the Nazarites could never cut their hair. That hair was the hair that they had when they took the vow and swore to follow the rules in order to become closer to God. Cutting or shaving it off symbolized their cutting connection with God by getting rid of their pure hair. But why would somebody want to become closer to God? Many Nazarites took their vow for reward or protection. If they vowed to become closer to God, then they believed that God would make their lives better and protect them from bad things in their lives. In many ways, it is similar to some things we do today. We do good things for people in our lives and ask for something else in return. Sometimes, if I have a test I'm not quite prepared for, I'll ask that I do well as long as I study well for the next one. Or if there's something I want from my parents, I'll help around the house in exchange for it. In many ways, I believe that taking the Nazarite vow is similar to becoming a bar mitzvah. Becoming a Nazarite means promising to follow sets of rules in order to become closer to God. You promise not to cut your hair, not to drink wine or eat grapes, and not to go near any dead people. As for becoming a bar mitzvah, I am promising to fast on Yom Kippur, not eat bread or bread products on Passover, and more. Generally, becoming a bar mitzvah means following rules and guidelines in order to become closer to God for your journey into becoming a Jewish adult. I'm not there yet. Instead, I'm ready to help make the world a better place, help celebrate holidays at home, and continue to learn about what Judaism means to me as an individual. My journey to becoming a bar mitzvah wasn't just done by me alone. There were so many people who helped along the way that deserve my gratitude and thanks. First are my parents, who helped me so much, not only during this experience, but throughout my entire life as well. I'd also like to thank my siblings, who have always been supportive and helpful to me. I'm also lucky to have my grandparents, who have helped me with my Hebrew for long. Lastly, I'm grateful to my teachers and tutors, including Harriet, Emily, Rabbi Moss, and Rabbi NB. And of course, thank you to all of you for making this day so special.
Okay, another deep breath. You're so cool. You're good. Okay, you have now led us in a service. You have now taught us Torah, both by reading it and teaching it to us. You have one more thing to do. Are you going to peace or are you going to do it?
I think I'm going to do it.
Okay, I think you should too. Noah learned his Haftorah, which he actually just spoke a little bit about Samson and Delilah. And it comes from the book of Judges, which is a compilation of talking about all the judges at the time when we came into the land of Israel. And basically they were the tribal leaders, but they helped adjudicate problems that they saw in the land. It was from after the reign of Joshua, around 3,000 or so years ago. Basically, what he's going to read for us, he already told us. It's about Samson, who was a Nazarite, and what happened. So he's going to read a little part of that. And so I'll turn it over to you, Noah, to do that.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratzav v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv Yisrael amo uv'nvi'ei ha'emet v'atzedek v'hi ish ehad mitzorah mimishpahat hadani ushemo manoah V'ishto akara v'lo yalada. Vayera malach Adonai el ha'isha v'yomer eleha ine na at akara v'lo yaladet v'hari v'yaladet ben v'ata isha merina v'al tishti yain v'shehar v'al tochli kol tameh ki ina ara v'yaladet ben umara lo ya'ale al rasho ki nezir Elohim yeh hana'ar min habaten vehu yahel lo shia et Yisrael miyad Pelishti. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tzadik b'hol hadorot ha'el hane'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber umkayem al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarchim otach yitbarach shimcha b'fi kohai tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Okay, now you're really done.
Really nice.
You did it. Now all you got to do is listen and get blessed by people. You think you can handle that?
Mm-hmm.
I think you can too. Go ahead and sit down with your family. Where's your mask? Oh, there you go. Oh, pockets. Wonderful. So, as I was working with Noah, I thought this kid could never be a Nazarite. And the reason I thought it is because he's too much of an independent thinker to say, yeah, God wants me to do it, I'll do it. But I want to share with you a little bit of the rationale for what is a Nazarite. Noah taught us a little bit, but he and I talked a lot about why. Why in the world wine, hair, and corpses? What's the point? So, what we talked about with wine or grapes is that maybe if you drink wine, you could get drunk, and if you get drunk, you might do things you regret. And especially if you say, yeah, I'm going to do things for God, God wouldn't like that. Okay? Good reason for why we don't drink wine. And Noah was like, okay, maybe, but I don't know. Another thing is that there was something with self-flagellation, but that makes one less available to God. That if you're drunk, you're going to, like we said, do silly things, and then you're not available to God. Okay, so that's why no wine. So why not cut your hair? The priests in the temple had to keep their hair short because it was a way of saying, I'm in uniform. So in some way, not cutting their hair or letting it grow wild is how it was meant to be. And it's saying, I am, as long as my hair is growing, I am in God's service. Noah was also like, yeah, it doesn't work for me. Even though your hair is short, he was like, nope, doesn't quite work. And then the corpse one, you can't be in God's service if one is impure. And one takes on impurity if one is near a corpse. And Noah said, hold on. If someone I love dies, I can't go near them. I can't go to the funeral. I said, yep. And he said, nope, not doing it. Okay, so all three of the things of the Nazarite vow are out for you, Noah. So that's why, yeah, not happening for you. But the Nazarite vow is all about how to become pure for God. And Noah, what I love about what you did is you said, fine, I'll make it connect to me. And you connected it to the process of bar mitzvah. I tried to say, okay, so your next responsibility is showing up for a minyan, for a group of people who need to say Kaddish or for services. And he was like, nope. But The part that you did say you were willing to do was fasting on Yom Kippur and showing up for family holidays and Tikkun Olam, making the world better. And that, to me, is who you are, Noah. You're someone who wants to be with your family. You are an independent thinker because it wasn't about what I said. It was about what you needed for your community. Your community's here. And my guess is a lot of these people are the people that you do holidays with. And so what I love is that you said, I'm taking the parts of Judaism that are meaningful to me. Noah, just later in the Torah, the part that you didn't read, is a part called the priestly blessing. It is the oldest blessing in Judaism, and the rabbis question whether or not it's connected to the Nazirite vow. The idea being that if someone makes themselves sacred to God, this is a blessing to give to them, to say, this is from God, making you special. I'm not going to share the blessing. I'm going to share the blessing out loud, but then I'm going to offer it to you privately over here. And the blessing is this. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yechunecha, may God's face shine upon you and be with you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, may God walk with you and be with you wherever you are and wherever you go, giving you the blessings of whatever it might be. In my family, we offer this around the Shabbat dinner table, and everyone gets to say what they want in their week. Some people like to say things like chicken, or toys, or the new video game, or whatever it might be. And some people say things more internal, so they want rest, or joy, or something else. This blessing, though, is a hard blessing to understand, especially in line of the Nazirite. And so what I want to offer is that the blessing is really a way to say, may God be with you. May you find connection to God in whatever way you need. And Noah, that's my blessing for you. That whatever Judaism means to you today, tomorrow, 15 years from now, that you find the blessings that God has for you, because they're there. And may you continue to find them and find them with your community here. Okay? Okay. Now, I want to offer you a private blessing. So I'm going to invite you over here.
Please join us in this blessing. We're reaching this season. Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu l'zman hazeh.
times of joy are often tinged with sadness. We know that there are those who aren't able to be with us today because they have departed this earth. If there's someone whose name you're thinking of and whose memory you want to bring into this space, I invite you to share their name aloud as my hand moves around the space. We rise together as a sacred community. I invite us to turn to page 598 as we join together in Kaddish Yatom in Mourner's Kaddish. (598) Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute v'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael v'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei d'kudashah brichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbecha.
Omav uyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen.
Can be seated. Noah, you've been a blessing to us for about the last hour. You've been a blessing to your parents for the past 13 years. They're the ones who should be giving you a blessing today, so we invite you three up here so they can offer you a blessing. Siblings, you didn't write anything, did you, for this? Okay, great. I didn't think so. I was just making sure.
Noah, Noe.
Sorry to interrupt. They only hear you at home too.
Oh,
Do you mind
here?
coming close to the mic?
Okay. Noah, Noe, Snowy, Snowman, Snowykins, and my personal favorites, Dudders and Duddykins. You did it. We weren't sure you were going to pull this off, but you really came through and impressed us all. We could not be more proud. It's not easy to be the youngest of 4 children, especially in a family like ours. I used to say if I got you to school in some sort of footwear, it was a successful day. By the time you came around, we had completely given up on even pretending there was a method to the madness. For you, bathing was optional. Wearing pajamas to school was entirely acceptable, and on the days you woke up late, it was gently encouraged. Yellow rain boots were appropriate footwear for any occasion. Your after-school activities consisted of you being dragged around, picking up your siblings from their after-school activities. Yet, in spite of all that, you turned out to be a pretty awesome kid. Out of necessity, you learned how to do most things on your own. I don't remember teaching you to walk or talk or even use the potty. Yet here you stand, not in diapers, chanting Torah. You are smart, funny, and kind. You are easygoing and fun to be around. You have great friends from so many different times in your life. Friends you've had since day one, friends from Hurlbut, friends from WIS, friends from middle school, and of course, friends from camp. During my failed attempt to make you a montage, we had some technical difficulties, I noticed that every year you had a new group of close friends. When I asked you about it, do you remember what you said? No. You said you were adaptable. What a perfect word for you. You are adaptable. At home, at school, at camp, no matter where you are, you can pretty much handle anything. You are a go-with-the-flow kind of guy, laid back and not afraid of change. You are also incredibly creative. We used to get emails from your teacher complaining that your math notebook was covered in more drawings than equations. You wrote your own book series starring Old Granny. You dabbled in YouTube, starring in several channels, featuring memorable characters such as Pancake and Waffle. Just last week, you and I were helping Ella with a videography project. Within 5 minutes, you had created a spin-off sitcom, complete with a title, catchphrase, and theme song. Dad and I could not be more proud of the young man you are today. We are blown away by what you've accomplished and cannot wait to see where you will go from here. We hope you continue to find joy in the little things and humor in the mundane. Stay kind, work hard, and remember we are always here for you no matter what. We love you.
God, Noah.
I forgot that one.
Okay, we're going to invite you all to stay up here. And siblings, we're going to invite you to come up too. So Noah, this table in front of me has a bunch of things for you. So first of all, that wrapped gift, that's for you. It's a kiddish cup for you to use for these holidays that you've told me you're going to do. Okay? And then under it is the certificate we signed. You guys, over here. Can't do Havdalah from over there. It's a certificate that you signed, your parents signed, and we signed that says you commit to doing all of this stuff, okay? Now, we're going to conclude your service with Havdalah, our ceremony to end Shabbat, because what a fitting way is you're ending one chapter of your life and beginning another. So we have these three symbols here, the juice representing the sweetness of Shabbat, bringing it into the week, the spices representing the way we're waking ourselves up for the new week, and the candle braided together because your family's a pretty close family, and also because it's important that we remember that we as Jewish people are always braided together. So we'll go through the objects together. We are on page 260, if anyone would like the words. And any of you can hold up the symbols. You can choose among yourselves. Spices, candle, juice. You can hold the candle.
Folks, there's a refrain that comes back between every verse, every sacred object
Alex,
that
you want
symbolizes
spices?
something to do with this transition.
Ella, don't burn your hair.
And that refrain goes like this. Ya lai, ya lai, 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 ya lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Won't you try? Ya lai, ya lai, 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 ya lai, 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 lai. Ya lai, lai, ya lai, 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 ya lai, 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 ya lai, lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei peri hagafen, over the wine. Borei peri hagafen. Borei minei v'sami. Borei minei v'sami. Those spices. Borei minei v'sami. Lai, ya, lai, 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 ya, lai, 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 lai. Ya, lai, lai, ya, lai, 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 ya, lai, 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech המבדיל בין קודש לחול. המבדיל בין קודש לחול, חטאותינו ימחול. יורינו בכספנו ירבה כחול, והכוכבים בלילה. שבוע טוב, 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 שבוע טוב. That means a good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. Eliyahu Adi, Eliyahu Adi Shvi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Agiladi. Bimera le'amenu, yavo eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Adi, Eliyahu Adi Shvi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagil Adi.
And now, we sing a song of celebration because you're done. You did it. We sing Siman Tov U'Mazel Tov. We are so proud of you.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov. Yehelanu, 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 Ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael. Okay, you can do better than that. Let's hear it again. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov. Yehelanu, 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 Ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Yisrael.
That was the best smile I've seen all night. Mazel Tov, Noah. Mazel Tov to your entire family. Mazel Tov to all of you. Thank you all for coming so much. We're going to actually, because of COVID, we're going to ask you to leave in your family pods and just leave the prayer books on your seat. We'll take care of them. Thank you so much for being here and celebrating with Noah.